don't even have the actual. I don't even have my mic set up properly. How about that? Dímelo, mi gente. A late night special here from yours truly, travel football fan. I'm helping fans save money and travel the 2026 World Cup, but it looks like we have a second set of price lists that were distributed, or I should say that they were talked about in a radio show, podcast from. Hold on, I need to relearn these names. Got this podcast name again. Apologies. This is from the Super Gol podcast. So this is in Spanish. Super Gol podcast from Guadalajara. Okay. And apparently, one of the gentlemen in that show received the price list of the matches that were going to be in Guadalajara, as you can see in the screen in front of you, as well as the ticket prices for the inaugural and other prices, which I did not end up typing up here, which I probably should type up here as well. Folks, as they say, once is a rumor, or one piece of information is a rumor, two pieces of information is a coincidence, three times you can say that becomes verified. And right now, I have two pieces of information that is leaning towards the prices for the 2026 World Cup starting at $500 US, not 500 pesos. Not 500 pesos, 500 US dollars. And so this is a special report from yours truly, travel football fan. See, if this podcast, that I was pointed by one of my followers, and thank you all for doing that. If this was the first time I was hearing or seeing any sort of price information, I would have probably not have reported on it. Okay, because it's just the first time I'm seeing a price list. I can't verify the source of it, and I've not been able to independently verify these prices with anything or anyone else. I want to make that perfectly clear. These are unverified prices. Having said that, I felt it was my responsibility to share these prices, whether they are verified or not, because with the first price list that I've acquired, and I'm not going to reveal where that price list came from, or any additional information in that respect. Um, those prices were lining. These prices over here on your screen were lining up with those prices in that first price sheet that I had acquired about a month ago. So if two separate price lists are more or less matching in terms of price, then I was comfortable to say, you know what, even though I've not been able to verify this information, let me share it with people, so in that way people can start getting ready for the sticker shock of these World Cup prices. Chat, please let me know in the comments questions, what you think. Please feel free to ask any and all questions. Okay. I think this is going to be super important for people to understand the pricing, because the more you are ready for this potential sticker shock, the better financial decisions you're going to be able to make in a couple weeks time when we begin applying and when we see those prices, because that was what originally was told to me, that we would see the prices of these tickets when we begin applying between September 10 and September 19. But now, with this being the potential prices, again, matching this information from what I got from the Super Gol podcast. It's like a radio podcast show from Guadalajara with the original price list that I got. Yeah, the prices are insane. Voy llegando, pero los precios no son tan malos como esperaba. Bueno, puede que de pronto no sean tan malos, ¿no? Digamos, comparando las cosas, ¿no? Especialmente considerando, digamos, los partidos de Guadalajara, que son, bueno, del partido 3, que son a $525 para la categoría 3. Digamos que no son tan malos, ¿no? En ese sentido, ¿no? De pronto estuvimos esperando un precio más alto, digamos. Pero, para dar una comparación, ¿no? La boleta del grupo, fase grupo, categoría 3 en Qatar fue $69. $69 a $525, pues, o sea, ya es una vaina tremenda, ya es una subida de precio, pero tremendo, ¿no? Y si queremos calcular el porcentaje, digamos, de $69 a $525, ya estamos hablando de una subida de precio de 660%. Si estoy haciendo la matemática correctamente. Un sube de precio de 660%, hermano, del último mundial en Qatar. Mejor dicho, el mundial de Qatar pues va a resultar como el más barato en la historia de este torneo. De pronto hasta la de Rusia va a ser más barato, hasta el de Brasil más barato. Y uno puede decir, pues claro, por la inflación y toda esa vaina. Pero, coño, una subida de precios de 660% es una cosa tremenda. Es una cosa tremenda. Okay? For those of you that are joining in English, the comment was, maybe these prices aren't so bad. But when we compare Category 3 for Game 3 Guadalajara with what they were in Qatar, this is a 660% increase of prices from Qatar to this United World Cup here in 26. This is Jesus. This is a significant price hike, to say the least. This is significant. Okay? So again, this information I've not been able to verify it. Okay? This is coming from the Super Gol podcast from Guadalajara, but I have a second list of prices that is somewhat matching this price list too. And so that's why I decided to share this information to get you all ready for the potential sticker shock of these prices being the most expensive you have probably ever seen for a World Cup. Okay? What does the category mean? Category means where you're basically sitting in the stadium. Category 3 tends to be upper level, nosebleeds. Category 2 means middle and corners. Okay? Category 1 means the lower level. Category 1 premium means the sideline seats. These prices are in US dollars, and these prices are not hospitality tickets. I also did go about checking to see if these were hospitality tickets, but no, they were not. Okay, so that would be the differential there. I did forget to add some other pricing that was revealed in that Super Gold podcast. So for example, and I'm like going through my notes here, FIFA is already baking dynamic pricing into these prices on the back end, meaning that instead of you dealing with the dynamic pricing as you're buying the tickets and giving you that false impression that, oh, look, there's no dynamic pricing happening, FIFA has decided that some cities will have more expensive tickets than others. That doesn't mean that they're going to have better games. It just means that FIFA has decided that some cities are just going to be more expensive. Miami and New York City will be the two most expensive cities in terms of ticket prices for the World Cup. Miami, New York, Category 3 will be $750. Category 2, $900. Category 1, $1,200. Category 1 Premium, $1,400. And again, this is strictly for the group stage. Okay? This is strictly for the group stage. Okay? So I'm going to add this new category here. So that way we can go ahead and present the information a lot clearer. So FIFA is already saying that these cities will be dynamic priced. Again, does not mean they will have better games. They're just going to be dynamic priced. Because from Boston to Foxborough is, if I go to see the game in Foxborough, I might have to stay in Providence, Rhode Island. Very true. I've not been able to get information on Boston, okay, but according to this podcast, Houston, $600 will be the cheapest ticket in Houston. followed by $700, $800, $950. That appears to be the pricing for Houston. Unfortunately, I was not able to get any other major cities, or at least they didn't reveal any other cities. Let me double check my notes. No, I don't see any other cities here listed. The final. Yes, let me go ahead and put the final. Okay, but the cheapest tickets, they did say, were going to be in Atlanta and in Kansas City at $500. So I guess we could put, let's go ahead and let's put Atlanta, Kansas City here. The cheapest were going to be $500. They did not reveal the rest of those prices there. Okay, for the final, here are the prices for the final. Again, all of these prices are in US dollars. Okay, all of these prices are in US dollars. They're not in Mexican pesos. Trust me. So, those are the prices that were revealed on this podcast. For the final, I was not able to independently verify with my second price list that I had. I was not able to verify those prices, or at least match those prices. If indeed this is the price for the tickets for the final, that final ticket on category 1, $8,000, would represent a 400% jump from Qatar's prices, which were at $1,600 category 1. We might have missed out on a golden opportunity to see one of the greatest finals in World Cup history on the low, in comparison to what we are expecting in the United States for the World Cup final at MetLife Stadium. For Philly, I could stay in downtown Philly. Good luck with that, because there's no hotel availability right now in downtown Philadelphia, and also the SEPTA has been defunded. What's category 1 premium? Lower level, basically sideline seats. Oh my gosh, I am going to be broke. Yep. Those prices are only for Mexico, right? Since they will have fixed prices. These prices appear to be the ones that we're all going to deal with. Mexicanos in Mexico might have a different price list. It looks like they will have a different price list, but this looks like this will be the price that the rest of us are paying. And that's because we still need to buy the flights and reserve the hotels that we pay later on. These are just tickets, folks. What about Canada price? Canadians are paying the same price too. Obviously, converted to Canadian dollars, but this is basically, as far as we understand, is going to be the price that everyone else is paying. So these AOs are tripling the prices for the Mexico games, because those are the games that have a strong chance of selling out. Those are exactly the reason. They recognize that there is an insane demand for the matches in Mexico, and so thus they're going to squeeze every living dollar they can get out of those games. And expect the games in Monterrey to follow the same path as the Game 1 Guadalajara and Game 3 Guadalajara. I would suspect the prices in Monterrey to be similar. That's it. At most, it'll be one match. And that might be the reality for a lot of us. That might be my reality too. I have a 46,000 Amtrak points. And I don't know if I'm even going to end up using 10,000 of those at this point, because these prices are quite ridiculous. So glad I'm working 2 jobs saving up. Well, I'm glad that you're doing that. I'm glad that you're seeing how much it's going to take to go to some of these games. Pensé que con $2,000 podría entrar a la final. Hermano, le falta todavía, desafortunadamente. Crap, man, my best bet if I go watch the game in Philly is maybe stay at a hotel in Chester or Bucks County. Probably. I would even stay further out, probably towards Wilmington, maybe. But hotel availability is going to be short. I would have told you DC, but, we're currently occupied here by Cheeto Man. So who knows if by next summer, we're going to have places to stay right here. What about Category 4 tickets? What about them? There's no Category 4 tickets, chat. There's no, folks. FIFA was never going to give us Category 4 pricing in the United States. They were never going to give us ticket prices that low. Never. FIFA was never going to do that. That was one of the biggest lies If they do that, it might be for very small number of tickets that you probably will have a less than 1% chance of getting. So, category 4, I told you, I've been saying it for a long time. Don't bank on it. Capitalism final straw. Oh, this is late stage capitalism for sure, y'all. Like, like I have to be smart about my money too at this point. Like, I mean, I want to go to games, but holy shit, you know. USA should have hosted 2022 and Qatar 2026, but Sep did us dirty. I don't think it. I mean, apart from the fact that we wouldn't have Trump, organizing or being president during these games, that might have done something. But the way that the U.S. handled the COVID pandemic, we would have probably have lost the World Cup in 2022 anyway. Let's just be honest about that. Do you think they will go down close to the World Cup, like tournament like Club Cup? No. The World Cup is a totally different beast. It is not the Club World Cup, folks. There will be demand. The casuals will come out en masse to pay for these tickets at these prices. The casuals will eat this up. That's why Infantino has been so keen of promoting the World Cup, excuse me, as 104 Super Bowls. He's been keen on doing that because he knows that the casual sports fan in the US is willing to pay this price, because if you compare it to the Super Bowl, these ain't too bad. And so if you're already a fan of the NFL that's willing to pay $10,000 for nosebleeds, $5,000 right up here, $5,000, excuse me, is a steal, right? $5,000 is a steal. If you're an NFL fan that pays $10K for nosebleeds for the Super Bowl, this is half off. They have done this on purpose so they can get the American casual sports fan to bite on these tickets, while the rest of us true soccer fans are basically priced out. That is the cold-blooded reality. Okay. I'm responding to comments here to my videos on my socials. But this is significant. Okay. Looks like my trip to Dallas to see Mexico Columbus is going to have to be canceled if these prices are official. Which is why my concern of all of these extra friendlies being played in the U.S. Being played in the U.S. You got the Mexico Colombia, you got this Barcelona Villarreal game. That is why I've been pointing out, like, folks, these prices for the World Cup, they're going to be insane. Why are we spending all this extra money on these other random games? And so, again, I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money, but if your goal is to go to the World Cup, and if indeed, say these prices are off by $100, give or take, it's still a significant amount of money. I don't think $100 does it for a lot of you, or it might actually, let me rephrase that. $100 might be the difference. And so, why spend your money in these other games when you can go to those games later on in your life? Hopefully, si Dios quiere. But for the World Cup, this is the pricing that might happen. Give or take $100. You hope that is $100 less than this. But even then, for the inaugural, $1,700 for the inaugural Category 3 seats. Jeez Louise, folks. Are we thinking all phases will be first come, first served? We don't know, but this first phase is an application phase. Okay, the phase 1 that starts in September 10th. Okay, September 10 will be application. Isn't FIFA a nonprofit org? Yes, they are. And they love their money. Freddie Rivera cooked. I think we are all cooked. That is for sure. That is for sure. From your experience, the final tickets sell out fast. No, I mean, I do think this. Look, I think that there's only so much we can rely on previous World Cup for us in terms of like buyer experience. Again, these were the prices for the Qatar World Cup. If we say, hey, people are going to act in a similar way like this, we are missing the point. The point is that the prices for the Qatar World Cup were significantly cheaper, are going to be significantly cheaper than the prices for 2026. So we can't really compare the two, the two, you know, markets, right? The two buying groups, because again, category one ticket for the final in Qatar was $1,600, and they're gonna charge $8,000 for this one. Say again, that's wrong by a few $100s. It's still a 660% price increase. It is a significant price increase, folks. This is insane, to say the least. Will prices look like these for knockout games? Or I don't know. But if we were to say, would we be surprised if the knockout games are like similar to that of the inaugural? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the prices for the knockout rounds are similar to that of the inaugural match or of Mexico's second home match in Guadalajara. Something like that. Okay. All right. Thank you for your questions, folks. I know this is a late night. My voice is a little bit on the downside, as you can imagine. This is Travel Football Fan special edition here. We're talking about this potential pricing of the 2026 World Cup tickets. I'm sharing this information because, again, this comes from the Super Gol podcast from Guadalajara in Mexico. At first glance, you would have said, well, why are you sharing this one set of information? You haven't been able to verify, which is true. I've not been able to verify these prices, but I've been in possession of a second price list from about a month ago. And so once one piece of information is a rumor, two pieces of information is a coincidence, I felt it was important to at least share this information, this coincidence of the information I've gotten, in the event that once I do get that third piece of information, which basically would verify or not these prices, that you're not shocked when you see this. And I think it's important for all of us to start getting ready to expect these prices to be like this, or if they're give or take minus, hopefully not plus 100, but minus $100, it's still going to be over $500. Okay. This is why, since I'm from NYC, I could go see the game in Foxborough, Philly, but getting a hotel in Philly is much difficult than getting in Foxborough. Correct. The first Visa credit card phase is an application for the chance to get a slot. Correct. You will be applying for tickets per FIFA's FAQ. Correct. They're going to make so much money. That is exactly the point. They're going to make so much money. Correct. Where are those ticket prices coming from? Again, they are coming from from these gentlemen in Guadalajara, the Super Gol podcast. Apparently, one of them was leaked, the price list from FIFA itself. And I'm sharing that information because I cross-checked it with a second price list that I have that I acquired a month ago, and a lot of the prices are lining up. And so I decided it was best to share this information, this coincidence of information, so in that way y'all can make your best decisions on how to approach these ticket prices. Which again, they might be give or take $100. It's still going to be rather expensive. Is your own ticket price info from the Monterrey committee you were involved last month? I cannot say. I have to protect my sources on this. I know you're asking the question, but I have to protect my sources on this. I will not reveal how I got that information. This is the real journalism work that I have to start doing. Hmm. checking here the comments on some of the videos right here. So yeah. No, of course. And thank you for staying up at this late. I know it's late night hours on the East Coast. Um, but that's what I'm saying right here. And like I said, I figured I'd share this information with you. Man, the comments on Instagram are getting crazy. They're absolutely crazy. Everyone's losing their shit about the World Cup final tickets. That's for sure. Folks, it's insane, man. Look at that. Some people are already saying might as well drop those $2,000, put it in a high yield savings account, and save money for Spain. It might be the play. It might be the play after all. Um, Let me catch up on some other questions right here. My best advice for those who don't have a Visa credit card and are willing to apply for one, it's important right now to have a good credit. Yeah, do it now because you know that's gonna take a couple of days for that credit card to come to your home. Jorge, will something change with our Absolute Sport packages? Price changes? Can they cancel them? No, no. With the Absolute Sport packages, if you bought the travel packages with Absolute Sport, they cannot cancel those on you. Okay, you've already made the contract deal. Okay, they have been changing the prices as FIFA has been changing their own prices, so they've had to increase the prices. But if you've already purchased a package with Absolute Sport, you're set. Okay, and for those of you that are wondering, wait, what are they talking about? I've partnered with Absolute Sport, a sports travel agency that are the official travel partners of Conmebol. They are working with FIFA for this World Cup as well, and they've been offering travel packages, which includes your game ticket, your hotel, your transportation to and from the hotel to the game, plus other perks, right, in that package for a price, right, a whole travel package price. So kind of consider them like your old school travel agents, right? You know, they're booking your trip for you, and thus you're going to be paying slightly more. Of course, you're paying for the service of them taking care of you in that respect of your hotel, your game ticket, your game day transit, and you're paying for the peace of mind that you actually do have a ticket because again, they do work with FIFA. So several of my clients don't have to worry about these price increases because or these prices because they already bought in at pretty not pennies a dollar. Let me not say that, but they did pay at a really good price because remember, these are just the ticket prices. You still have to contend with booking your hotel and booking your flight. These travel packages do not have flights, okay, but they do have the hotels, which is very important because if you try to look for hotels in Mexico City, they're all blacked out because they're waiting for the special orders. So if you're interested in the packages from Absolute Sport, for the Mexico ones, they're really going up in price. I'll just be honest with you on that one. They are really high in price right now. Your best bet will be to go apply for the tickets and hopefully get them to the lottery. But if you really want to go to those games in Mexico, go ahead, take a look at it. And you want to see what the Absolute Sport travel packages are offering, I can send you the email for Mexico. For all the other teams, there are very reasonable prices. Colombia, Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina, USA, even some of the European teams too, because they got offices in Frankfurt, in Brazil, in Rio, I believe it is, and in LA. They got travel packages for these other teams too. If you are interested in those, DM me on my socials with your email and the team you wish to follow, and I'll send you the information. Okay, again, these are travel packages, not just tickets. Okay, they do include the hotel and everything, and you do have to pay for that. Okay, but yeah, basically, if you already bought it with Absolute Sport, you're good. We're screwed. $500 for a group stage game is crazy. Kinda been calling it. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've kinda been calling it. I have been saying, folks, the ticket average is not going to be $300. I really thought a lot of people were losing their damn minds when they were saying that the average ticket price would be $300. I thought that was lunacy to be telling people that because then that meant that some of the tickets were going to be as low as $175. Absolutely not. I need to sell my kidney to buy my ticket. Please don't do that. Rather go fly and watch a Premier League match. And you get to see another country too. Lo, me working 16 hours shifts for the past 6 months to stash my money, but I refuse to pay those ridiculous prices. Hey, I don't blame you, fam. I don't blame you, chat. Should we wait until 2026 to buy tickets? No way all those games sell out at those prices. They're gonna sell out, man. They're gonna sell out. I would not be surprised if they sell out. If they don't sell out. Remember, the casual American sports fan is used to more expensive ticket prices for marquee sports events than this. This is cheap to them. Instead of water, I should be drinking whiskey. I should be drinking some whiskey right now, because these ticket prices are crazy. Hey, yo, whiskey company, send me some whiskey, yo. I mean, I know I have the tequila over there, but bro, I should have poured a scotch or so. I should have poured a glass, because these ticket prices are insane, bro. We need some alcohol to process this shit. If Miami's going to be expensive, maybe FIFA will rig the draw to have Argentina play matches there. Look, if there is allegations of rigging the draw, then the World Cup is broken at that point. I would agree with you, right? Like if that would be the case. I think instead, as I said here, this New York and Miami pricing is just a dynamic pricing of it being in New York and Miami. Now, if I will be completely honest with you, okay, and I should be honest with all of you, of course. Don't go to Miami. Don't go to Miami. For at that ticket price, for you to be stuck at Hard Rock Stadium, okay, for you to be stuck at Hard Rock Stadium in that fucking traffic, in esa pinche humedad, to go see a 0-0, to see a low tier game in Miami, just because you're in Miami. Like, part of me, I'm kind of embarrassed for my city, because this is nuts. That we're gonna be just dynamic pricing the World Cup tickets because it's Miami. I live in Miami. Yo soy de Miami, bro. Yo soy de Miami. So I'm telling y'all, like, at this point, don't go to Miami, y'all. Like this, you're basically paying extra just because it's Miami. New York, I can maybe understand. I can maybe understand New York ticket prices being this expensive, but even then, like, damn, even then, that's at least $200 more than potentially what $200 more than Guadalajara, $250 more than Kansas City and Atlanta. Like, just because it's New York, jeez Louise, man. The casual American fan won't be buying tickets this early due to the NFL, NBA, MLB, other sports betting being full swing. No, I respectfully, I think I would disagree with you. They're gonna see these prices, they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, that's cheap. Buy it now." So yeah. Ay, Dios mío. Imagínate. Ay, Dios mío, papi. Estos precios están like la puta, bro. I shouldn't be cursing like that. My bad. Pero está like a la pucha, no joda, bro. Está tremendo. My fellow New Yorkers, you might as well go to Philly or Boston or Atlanta or Houston. Yes, it's kind of funny how that might be the case, right? Where you have some fan bases like the New Yorkers and the Miamians going to other cities because the other cities are going to be cheaper, but those hotels are going to offset the price. So it's not going to be as cheap. I knew ATL would probably be cheapest, but I didn't think it would be 1K for two nosebleed tickets. That's right, Freddie. That's right, Freddie. Super Bowl will be cheaper here in the Bay. I mean, it might still not be as cheap, but still. It might not be as cheap, but yeah. But for sure, this is crazy. The pricing's insane. Yeah, people saying they're gonna buy pizza and stay home. I mean, at this rate, shit, $4,500, man. That can go towards a hell of a lot of other things. Not gonna lie to you. Fan zones will be lit. I think that is where you're gonna get good value at the fan zones. They're gonna be free. They're gonna be filled with a lot of the broke ass fans, and they might be a better environment. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. Yeah, Super Bowl is crazy. Yeah, Super Bowl is a lot more expensive. It's definitely double the price of this for all those categories. Definitely double the price. F in the chat because I should have just gotten the hospitality package or gone with Absolute Sport at the beginning when I was promoting it very early on. Especially if you were looking for the Mexico games. Oof, those people that got the Mexico packages early on got a steal of the deal. They got the steal of the World Cup. Tienes razón, esto es una mierda, bro. Es una mierda, bro. Tremenda mierda esto, bro. No joda, bro. Es que como que, mira, yo quiero ver a Colombia, no te digo que no. Pero, puta, $1,000 para pagar a ver Colombia en el Mundial. Como que, pucha, ¿por qué Colombia no pudo llegar a Qatar? No joda, bro. I should have just gone to Russia. I should have just said screw my credit and gone in Brazil back in 2014. Oh, man. What's good, bro? Late one today. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's late. I probably should wrap up soon. But I felt like I needed to share this information now and post it and let the algorithm do its work. Off topic, bro. You excited for the Florida Derby and the League's Cup semi? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Miami's got to get it. Miami's got to get it. I'm checking the hotel prices in the Philly area, and it's like $150 the lowest right now. When the World Cup comes closer, it might be like $500. You might not even be able to book one. Is the problem? What about for the USA Opening game? Similar price to Opening game in Mexico? Maybe. It might be similar. It might be more like Guadalajara and Mexico's game two. So maybe I would not be surprised if it's similar. Maybe not as expensive, but it's gonna be similar. Going to Qatar was a clutch move. I spent like 10K for 20 days. Yep. Yeah, folks, these were the prices in Qatar. I definitely should have gone to more games in Qatar at that point. If this was gonna be the price difference of the tickets, then we should have gone. 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 We should have gone more games in Qatar, bro. It's insane. I wonder if the 2030 World Cup is going to be more affordable. And the reason why I would think it might be more affordable is because people would balk at these potential prices, right? So say we have a lot of pushback from a lot of fans saying that these prices are too crazy. 2030 World Cup, they start reducing the prices. And guess who's going to give us cheap World Cup tickets in 2034? Type it in the chat. And you know I'm not wrong about this. Who's going to give us the cheapest tickets in World Cup history come 2034? Type it in the chat. See you in the 2038 World Cup? No, I'm saying 2034. You know who is going to be giving us the cheapest tickets in 2034? Saudi. Saudi's going to come in clutch. Saudi's going to be like, you know what? Just pay $50 a ticket. They don't give a shit, bro. They're going to be like, the hosting the World Cup is the project for them. Yeah. I mean, Marruecos maybe, but I think they're not going to be as expensive than this World Cup. But Saudi Arabia is going to come in and be like the savior of football. They're going to be like, yo, you hated the 2026 World Cup ticket prices? The 2034 World Cup ticket prices are going to be off the chart. Like off the charts and how cheap they will be. I bet you. 2030 World Cup tickets might not be as expensive as this. No, I will agree with you. It's going to trend downward, right? It's going to go, this is going to be the highest it's ever going to be. It's going to trend downward in 2030, and then it's going to crash in 2034. See you AI robots World Cup. Oh, man. How did I find out these prices? So this came from the Super Gold podcast, which is a podcast hosted by these gentlemen in Guadalajara. Apparently, one of the gentlemen revealed that these price list was leaked to him, and so I decided to share this information because this price list did line up with another price list that I've been holding in my possession for the past month. And so in cross-checking those two price lists, the vast majority of these prices were in a similar range. So I figured, let me share this information. I've not been able to verify this information from Guadalajara, but let me share this So then that way everyone starts getting ready at the potential sticker shock of these tickets being this expensive. Okay, we're gonna have to hit every single game. Wasn't Qatar something like that subsidized? It was subsidized for their citizens. Okay, it was subsidized for their citizens. There was no official information that said that Qataris subsidized all the ticket prices, but they definitely subsidized it for their home fans. Okay, see, Category 4 tickets are reserved exclusively for residents of Qatar. So these they subsidize for sure, but the rest no. Okay, so in this World Cup, there ain't no Category 4 tickets. Mexico might be the exception, but that's because of Mexican laws. And Claudia Sheinbaum actually looking out for her people. You think Donald Trump was gonna look out for any one of us? Get the out of here, bro. Trumpito was never gonna look out for any of us. Even not gonna set up a Category 4. Are you kidding me? So there ain't gonna be no Category 4 for the U.S. No Category 4. Now, I've been saying that for a while now, but no me querían creer, mi gente. No me querían creer. Any idea what the Bay Area prices will be? No, but let's just say that for any other city that I don't have listed here, you should anticipate this pricing and this pricing to be about what it's going to be. About what's going to be for any of the other host cities not listed here. It should be about that price. Did Trump email me this information? Nah, bro. He did not email me this information. He did not, man. If he's emailing me, I'm needing to book a flight to get the out of this country, bro. I would need to get the F out, and I would be broadcasting from another country, bro. I would not even be able to tell you what country that is. Oh man, this is just bad, bro. This is just absolute bonkers, bro. Fuchica nos odia FIFA, bro. FIFA quiere hacer su dinero, bro. FIFA quiere hacer su dinero, bro. Es la verdad, la verdad, la verdad. FIFA quiere su dinero, papá. Is Travel Tuesday a legit period for travel deals like Black Friday or Cyber Monday? It is. It is. You might definitely want to start looking at some of those travel deals as well, as you consider it. Me voy. Gracias por la info as always. Dale, Jorge. Dale. Yo también me voy también. Yo creo que en los últimos próximos minutos me voy a terminar este live también. So, mi gente, if you have any other final questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat. I think let's wrap up in a couple of minutes. It is getting late for me here as well on the East Coast, and I am not young anymore. So, El Salvador versus Colombia World Cup Final 2034 en el desierto de Arabia Saudita, papá. Nos comemos unas pupusas y unas arepas allá en Arabia Saudita, papá. Nos tocará ver, nos tocará ver. Pues mi gente, así quedamos entonces. Maybe these are the World Cup prices for 2026. Maybe. I was not able to verify this information, but it is lining up with another price list that I have. Give or take $100 of these potential ticket prices, and it's still a significant amount of money. It's still a very significant amount of money. So, folks, be ready for this potential price. Do not panic buy. Do not overbuy. Do not pay over your budget. And if you can only go to one game, go to one game. I might only be able to go to maybe 2 games tops, maybe 3. Where's my video on the M1 prices? It's over here. I mean, there's the inaugural match potential ticket prices right here. Inaugural match right there. But yeah, so take a look at your budgets, see what you can afford, and you go from there. Okay, don't do anything else crazy. Sorry, bro, but this info really hit hard. I've been watching your shows, but never expected this high for Mexico games. Yeah, it looks like FIFA is definitely wanting to go towards marquee event pricing. I'm kind of not surprised, but definitely this stinks. So hopefully it doesn't give you nightmares, folks. Enjoy your evening. Talk to y'all later. How about the third Mexico game, same as Guadalajara? Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Dale, mi gente. Ahí nos hablamos más tarde.